Yo. Good evening. How you doing? Stream time? It is. It is stream time. Do you have a good day? How's everybody? I'm ready, I tell you. I'm ready. I got the drink. Loving the latest streams because you can be here for the whole thing. Decent. It's not a proper stream without you, Danny. So back at it again. Heather. Oh yes. Just here for the comedic relief. Exactly. Yeah, you might be the contender for the funniest viewer, actually. Pretty strong contender, if not already number one. Did you hear that, everyone? You got a competition. You got to step it up a bit. All right. Well, let's jump in. We got stuff to do. So first of all, we've got old paintings that slap, and I've got an old painting that slaps. Here you go. Ready for this one? This is John William Waterhouse. Miriamne leaving the judgment seat of Herod. This is an insane painting. It's massive as well. It's the figures in it are basically life size. Unfortunately, I can't find like a really good photo of it online, which is sad. But this one is okay. But the colors are really, really nice, and the painting of it is really, really good. Yeah, just exquisite. It is truly an old painting that slaps. If you don't know John William Waterhouse, defo check out his work. It's really, really good. Really, really big paintings. I'll definitely show some more in this segment of his, because he's one of my favorites. I would actually... Here's someone that I don't have a book from. He's like a master of like overcast lighting as well. Yeah. I'll show you some others at another point. But yeah, this is old paintings that slap. This reproduction is really bad, but you see this brush stroke here? This is like the highlight on the buckle, and this brush stroke is like, it's like cream cheese on a bagel. It's so thick and like plastered on. It's really, really really juicy. And there's a lot of that going on in the folds and stuff in here, but this particular brush stroke is like, it's cream cheese. It's really good. Yeah, if I ever come across a better photo of it online, I'll bring it back to show you. A2C, hello. Sarah, hello. What's going on? Welcome. So yeah, this wraps up old paintings that slap today. So I think you can all agree it does slap. And it's old. Love a good brushstroke. Yep. So yeah, I said it slaps hard. It does. It's a proper. So yeah, I said we'll talk about cast shadows. a little bit before we get into just me painting today. And yeah, I have a Blue Peter. This is something I made earlier to start us off talking about this, and then I'm going to go into sort of some technicals, and I'll take kind of any questions as we go. But what I wanted to talk about was cast shadows. What is a cast shadow? It's when an object like this blocks light from a surface like this and casts a shadow. Okay? And as you notice here, there is kind of three parts to this diagram. And I'm just basically going to talk about why cast shadow edges look the way they do and what the variables are for that happening, and basically give you a kind of a tool set for working out within your own illustrations like what kind of edge your cast shadow should have. Hello Yukino, what's going on? So there are kind of a few variables that determine the softness or hardness of a cast shadow, and in this particular diagram I'm just showing you one, but I'm going to talk about the other ones as well. So in this case, proximity to the surface is one of the variables that can change, which will give you a different edge on your shadow. So basically, in this example, this object is further away and is getting closer to the surface, and therefore the shadow that it is casting is getting progressively harder, soft, hard. And I'll talk about exactly why that is in a second. But something that I wanted to show you in this example before we sort of go to the 2D example is that you'll kind of notice that there is a sort of an inner portion of the shadow and like an outer portion of the shadow. Okay. And this inner portion is kind of like the darker area, and this outer portion is like a softer area. And you'll notice that as the shadow gets like harder, this edge, this difference gets smaller as well. And this area that I'll kind of shade in yellow right here is called the penumbra. Okay. And this portion in the middle here is just called the umbra. Now, I'm going to kind of switch to a different diagram and explain why this phenomenon happens, right? And how to predict it. But essentially, it's why you're getting this kind of double edge to the shadow. This is kind of the thing that becomes a little bit confusing for certain people. Not for certain people, for people. And so I'm going to talk about that. So bear this stuff in mind right now, and let's talk a bit more technically about what's happening. So these are two objects, okay? Two objects, two balls. These are two light sources, okay, of different widths, and this is a surface. And we're kind of viewing this from, like a bird's eye view. And I'm doing it in 2D like this to show you because it's a little bit easier. So we know that light travels in straight lines, okay? And so we'll show that. So I've got light that comes, from this light source, and it shines in this direction, okay? And it shines in straight lines. And if I have, for example, a beam, some photons that come from this side of the light, okay, and they they go past my, they just touch the edge of my object here. This is going to be where the edge of the shadow appears, right? We can understand that. And similarly, let's do this in a different color. We've got light here on this side. This is the last kind of ray of light that can go past. And so now these two are giving us the width of our shadow. Okay, we kind of understand this intuitively, right? Object blocks light, therefore shadow, right? But what we also need to take into account is that light from this side is also going to be coming across and glancing our object here. Okay. Similarly, this part of the light source can also shine a ray this way. So what you start to see here is that we get this gap, okay, on either side, where part of the shadow from the, the furthest ray shining from the opposite side of the form of the light source is going to essentially give us that penumbra. And the reason that penumbra looks soft and lighter is because it is actually still receiving light from the other side of the light source. So it's not a complete dark shadow. It's not the complete absence of light. It's just less light. So this yellow area is like the true shadow, if you like. It's completely, 100% of the light has been blocked by the object. And then the penumbra is light from the opposite side of the light source coming across the form and illuminating part of that shadow. So we get this soft edge. So in this case, it's like this, right? We've got that softer edge on there. So, okay, that's easy to understand. But what happens if the light source is much wider? So I'm not changing the proximity of the object to the light source. I'm just changing the width of the light source here. And we'll do the same again. This can do this. This can do this. This can do this. And this can do this. So in this case, this object is going to cast like a really, really small dark part of its shadow here, and it's going to have a really, really soft edge, really soft penumbra, because the light source is very, very wide. So where would you see this? You would see this on like a very overcast day, and the light is very, very diffused, and that's when you don't appear to get really hard shadows anywhere. It's basically just like ambient occlusion everywhere, with that being the case. Or if you had like a big softbox light in like a photo studio, like one of those big square lights, it's a very wide light source, and therefore you're going to get the illumination of the shadows everywhere, which means that all of the shadows are going to look very diffused and not very dark. Okay, so that's one variable that we have, okay, is width of light. Okay, then the other thing that can change this is the proximity of the object to the light source and the surface. So let's take off these lines, and I put in a different ball here that's closer to my surface. Okay, and let's do the same again. Whoa, straight line tool. Dink. 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 So we see here, my object is now closer to the surface, and because of that, the penumbra, the part where the two lines overlap, is now smaller. So when the object gets closer to the surface, the apparent cast shadow, is going to get harder. And you could see, like, if I slid this ball all the way up here, that would also have a different effect. So we can try that as well. So let's, I'll just duplicate this ball. And we'll do a new set of lines. Yeah, you can see what's going to happen here. This is going to go even off the page. So this would have a really, really, really wide, super diffused, soft penumbra on it. In fact, it's close enough to the light that, yeah, you're going to see a very, very, very soft shadow on something like this. Now you might be thinking, what about the sun? Isn't the sun millions of times the size of the Earth? So how does that affect it? Well, yeah, you're correct. It is an unbelievably wide light source, but it is also unbelievably far away. So if you think about a tennis ball being hit by the sun and you're just holding it above the ground, right? You're like this on Earth holding tennis ball, and you see that, oh yeah, I've got quite a hard shadow on the ground, and so does the tennis ball. But how does that work? Because Alex said when the light source is really wide, you get much softer shadows. Well, the thing is that the sun is so far away that the distance between the light traveling like 300 million miles or whatever it is and touching this side of the ball and traveling 300 million miles and touching this side of the ball is a negligible amount of difference. So you're gonna see like a fraction of a degree difference in that angle, and therefore that's why your shadows in sunlight look quite crisp and sharp in bright sunlight. So what you need to remember is when you're trying to figure out shadows, the cast shadows at least, where is it? Okay, I'll write it down again. You need to look at those three variables. You need to look at the width of the light, and then proximity of light. It's going to be proximity of light to surface, and proximity of light, of object, sorry. Confusing everyone, even myself. So yeah, you need to know the width of the light source, and you need to know the proximity of the object to the light and to the surface. And once you know those three, you can near enough approximate what kind of shadow that it should have, so that you're not making things cast like super hard shadows when it's not necessary, and you're also not making things cast really soft shadows when it should be really hard. And this goes into play when you're figuring out lighting for a scene, and even like how you know how different light sources should interact and cast shadows around. So yeah, hope that has made it kind of a little bit easier to understand why this happens and how to maybe predict it and sort it out in the future for yourself in your pictures. And yeah, something else we can go on to talk about in another tutorial another time would be light fall off and sort of managing multiple light sources together and how to deal with the fall off of light sources in a sort of more realistic way, so that you don't have like tiny little red light on some object casting like mad rim lights on everything 10 feet away, which I see quite a lot. So anyway, there you go. Silence from everyone. I assume you're all taking notes. All right, so I'm going to get back into this one. Yeah, I haven't opened it up since yesterday, so it's looking pretty. Digging it. I think there's a lot of like smaller kind of rocks and gravel and stuff that I want to kind of put into this to sort of build out some of these areas a bit more, and I'll obviously paint into some trees. There's a bit more to do with the kind of humidity in the air that's going to sort of knock back some of these values, and yeah, we'll get a bit more into sort of some of the foliage and kind of a bit more set dressing and stuff like that, but it's going to be kind of relaxed painterliness. And yeah, if anyone's got any questions or anything as we go, or anything questions about what I just did, then just put them in the chat. And there we go. So let's get painting some goddamn rocks. Turn that guy off for now. Make him blue. Now you can stay on, actually. You stay there, lad. Alright, new layer here. That's so much in 15 minutes. Thanks for the breakdown. You're welcome. Yeah, I'd been talking about it, the last couple of streams that I was going to go over it, and that I hadn't done, and I was like, I gotta do that. It just means you can figure them out a bit more accurately, because I sometimes see stuff and yeah, the shadows, someone's got like a really really soft shadow on something, and it's like that, it looks very strange to me. Did I use a 3D base here? I did. I made some trees on 3D coat, and a very kind of basic rock, which, yeah, it was not even a rock, it's just a blob, really. And yeah, rendered that out in Keyshot, and yeah, and then painted into it from here. Gave me a nice kind of base to work from. I can show you pretty much what it looked like the very beginning just by turning all the layers off, because here we go. Yeah, so that was the kind of the base render. I'll keep this up here actually. That was the base. And yeah, then we just build it up. Yep. Yep, so there we go. I don't think I've seen the width of the shadow diffusion explained before. More just general rules and vibes. Yeah. Yeah, I had not had it explained either, but I was looking at shadows, when I was in like life drawing and being like, wait, why is that? Why does that look the way it does? Got to get a bit curious about it, and then yeah, did a little bit of reading, a little bit of research. I was like, oh, that's a thing. That's a goddamn thing. But yeah, then I was also about the sun, I was like, wait, so hang on. What? Isn't the sun like millions of miles wide? But yeah, you have to take into account that it's actually millions of miles away as well, so I'm stuck using 3D and it held me back on my journey. I need to unlock this, I guess. What do you mean? What do you mean you're stuck using it? Are you trapped inside the program? Is this a personal project one? Yes, this is, if you like, the cover image, the opening loading screen of said personal project. I'm sort of going about this in a very haphazard way at the moment because I'm still sort of figuring out what the project is all about and in what form it takes. But in the meantime, it is nice fuel for images I want to create. And then, as I sort of flesh it out a bit more in my mind, there'll be a bit more of a direction and so on. I just know that initially it's going to take the form of lots of landscape paintings, and locations, and then maybe we'll get into some sort of character design stuff, some prop stuff, all sorts. But yeah, I need to sort of set the intention and the art direction for it. and then I can sort of know how I'm going to build it out from there. And even what form it's going to take. Like, is it going to be just an ArtStation post with a number of pictures all grouped together, or is it going to be something larger? We don't know yet. I mean, I avoid it. I mean, if you don't enjoy it, you don't have to use 3D. Like, it's not necessary to use it. Like, I like using it here and there because I just find it quite interesting and kind of, in a way, a little bit liberating for certain things, because the need to sort of take away the need to paint everything, and yeah, sometimes it's nice to have something taken care of in the illustration that you don't have to consider. And then, like in this case, I can literally just focus on the aesthetic, like the actual painted aesthetic of the piece. I don't have to worry about anything else. I kind of sorted that out at a different stage, and now I can just go in and think about making nice brush strokes, and make a sort of an interesting piece in that sense. It's really nice to be able to sort of just go in and look at something like that and be like, oh, there's nothing there. I like your breakdowns of how you paint from the idea to completion, how you use an idea for foundation of the painting and build off of that. That shows your experience as an illustrator. Oh, thanks. I think for something like this as well, it's a bit more sort of low stakes in a way. I painted an illustration with full coins on the floor. All the ellipses are a nightmare. It would have been faster and more enjoyable with a 3D base, I guess. Yeah, that is one way of going about it. You could also make a brush as well. A lot of stuff that you could solve in 3D, you could also just make a specific brush for as well. Something that sort of makes a coin type pattern around, something that you can paint into. Yeah, I've got a few brushes like that just make my life easier for specific things that have come up. Like, for example, where is it? Did I get rid of it? Yeah, I don't think I have it here anymore. But yeah, I've got another one in here. For example, when we were doing city scenes, like making these brushes that just paint railings, because there was tons of them all over the place. There's this one. This one. So making stuff like this, where it's like repeating shapes and stuff like that, super helpful. Yeah. Also, as well, certain things you don't necessarily need to paint every single part of something. You know, here, for example, I'm going to, you know, near my focal point, right, near the top of the waterfall, there's going to be a lot of these like smaller kind of stones and micro detail. But like as I get further away, I'm going to sort of paint those less and less. They're going to be sort of bigger rocks, but also kind of looser strokes as I get further away from the focal point. Therefore, I'm not in the need to like paint thousands of little pebbles everywhere. It's just going to kind of, your eye is going to do that job for me. Like I can see how I could paint a pile of coins and not have to paint a million coins. I would look at how the light's like hitting the pile and then try and, you know, it's similar to painting these things. Like some of them are going to catch the light a bit more, so you paint those. You can kind of group them together in larger planes and just sort of pick them out every now and again. That's how I do it. Something like coins, if you did in 3D as well, it's almost, I mean, or maybe even too much detail. It's kind of, it would be very difficult to then paint the rest of the image if you had like a bunch of 3D coins. This is why the base for this doesn't have loads of rocks and pebbles and shale on it and stuff like that, because if that was all rendered and then, you know, something else was painted in the illustration, it just wouldn't all fit together, and you would have this really sort of odd juxtaposition where you'd have to paint into it a ton to make it work. But yeah, you definitely don't need to get into 3D if you don't enjoy it. Plenty of people don't use it. But yeah, I mean, I'll use it in something like this because it gets me to the fun part a little bit quicker. But yeah, I should do some character art or something soon on the stream. I had like that piece that I started at the very beginning of the streams, a whole 28 episodes ago, where I was painting that kind of spooky kind of entity with the skulls floating around and in the drapery and all that. And Yeah, it'd be cool to get back into that at some point. Did you finish The Mermaid with Droplets? No, I did not. I wasn't enjoying that one, to be honest. I I I do like the droplets kind of idea and stuff, but I sort of started it on stream and I didn't really have much of a chance to sort of think about it, and yeah, I just sort of went forward with a drawing that wasn't particularly good. So if I do that one again, I will do it from scratch. Like, I'll start it again. The current version of it, I don't really like too much. Wait, is the background music from Valheim? I have no idea. I know Valheim's a game, but I literally know nothing else about it. I don't even know what kind of game it is. So it's almost the weekend. It's not going to be a very relaxing weekend, though. At least on Saturday, I've got training on Saturday, and it's going to be hella muddy. But it's going to be good seeing all the guys. You have to work through the weekend. That's pale. That is pale. Rocks, mate. As I'm painting this, I'm kind of thinking about if I had to like scramble up this edge, and this would be hella dangerous. Be a bit of a pain. All these rocks would be dead slippy. Lucas Luminaro. Been a very long time since I've seen you. You're still good at art, I see. You're still an art god. Oh god. Damn, high praise. I I'm flattered, I guess. How are you doing? I recognize the name. Were you an OG viewer of the stream back in the day? Can't believe it. How long it's been since. I remember watching you paint Doomfist years ago and being amazed. And PT Hamburgers. Yeah, PT Hamburgers. Yeah, PT Hamburgers was peak, I tell you. Ain't no better character than PT Hamburgers. That was fun times. Actually, that character needs an update. You know when people are like, oh, I've got all my OCs. I've got my original characters that I've got, and they're always sort of like, thirsty elvish men, with like horns and shit. Well, over here at Heath's house, we've got PT Hamburgers. Here he is. The man, the myth, the legend. The only OC that you need a poster of. Yeah, this is PT. So take that, thirst trap, horny elf OCs. Yeah, it's on here actually. I like how I labeled this process shots, but like there really was no process back then. Yeah, good old PD Hamburgers. But yeah, I feel like he needs an update. I feel like he could get a new skin, a new splash for old PT. Yeah. PD. Yeah, he'd fit in this current one really well, I think. Just like absolutely massive. All day long. Thanks for the follow. Just massive in the sky. Here we go. We're getting sidetracked here, but did we do anything for PT Hamburgers? He's like, a Spirit Blossom PT Hamburgers. Yeah. Okay. With his eyes. Yeah, he's just He's like unbelievably huge, you know? Really, 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 really far away. All up in the sky. Just looking down. His big French fry fingers. Looming up there. With his bacon tongue hanging out. You know what I mean? Oh, that Petey. Yeah. He's just up there. He's just checking. He's just checking. He's just he's just checking in on everything. He's like, what's going on? You thought the kid was Petey. No. Petey's the burger. Yeah, Petey's the burger. We don't care about that. That kid is as good as dead. Like he's gone. Petey is violent. A violent, murderous burger. Yeah, and we could do an updated PT. I actually did start one ages ago. I'll have to dig it out. But could also come up with another sidekick for PT. Some kind of pizza. But yeah, whenever I get asked if I have any, like, do you have any OCs? Do you have any original characters? I'm like, yeah, I do. Yeah, I got this burger. Whereas other people tend to have sort of like, sexy elf characters, or like half naked kind of blue centaur chick with a horn. That kind of stuff. I'm not knocking it. Each to your own. You go for it. You do you. Gonna paint into this tree a little bit. The taco kid. Yeah, exactly. I've got quite a few sort of like food related monster pictures actually. Don't really know what that phase was all about. I guess it's just kind of fun, isn't it? I remember painting the melted cheese on that and being very, very proud of the melted cheese. Yeah, exactly. I do kind of remember those streams did sort of end up devolving into everyone in the chat just talking about food, because I'd be painting, like the cheese or the lettuce or something, and then people would start talking about food in the chat, and then eventually the whole stream would just be talking about like burgers and pizzas and stuff, and I'd be like, oh, I'm so hungry. I'd also stream for like a really, really long time as well, so you'd end up getting super hungry. Yeah, sometimes I'd stream for like 6 or 8 hours with everyone talking about food. I was like, oh my god. It's good fun, good times. Making memories. Not sure you look at a burger the same now. Yeah, the idea was that, he was a burger that had been sort of discarded, like, kicked under the freezer or something at the burger joint, and it just got increasingly more like dirty and hot underneath there, and it got so hot that it actually evolved, and that's how PD came to be. He's evolved in the burger shop. Is this just a background or a character coming here? No, this is going. I mean, what do you mean? It's going to have PT in the background here, but yeah, this is just like a mood piece to really sort of set the mood and intention. It's supposed to look, cold, uninviting, damp, and in some ways it's supposed to also invoke the feeling of, like metal bands, right? They have that like metal font with their names, and you can like barely read the name of the band. Like that is the idea with the tree branches being kind of this gnarly, is that it's like meant to evoke that kind of imagery. It's all, dare I say, it's all part of the art direction of the project. And sort of, I'm sort of imagining, this is like the very start of what would be sort of the game, right? And then it evokes a certain feeling already where it's sort of old and uncomfortable and, damp and sort of desolate and so on. So that kind of already sets the mood quite well. And each kind of biome that you'd move through is going to sort of start to introduce like a little bit of that of its own kind of mood and so on. So I imagine there's other areas that I've got in mind that have kind of written down that I want to do and kind of visit. And they're each going to sort of carry with them like a little bit of a different mood and intention overall. A2C, thanks for your answers. I gotta go. See you on your next stream. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you. Have a good time doing whatever you're gonna do. The trees in the far background with the atmospheric perspective look awesome. So simple, but it makes a difference. Yeah, I do love atmospheric perspective. And leaving things very simple. You know, he's the absolute master at this. I'll bring up some images and show you. A lot of these pictures that this guy does, you'll be like, how on earth is this so simple? I honestly, I cannot hold his name in my head for the life of me. I always have to type in the name of the book. But yeah, if you know Simon Steinhag and these books, Tales from the Loop, this dude is insane, and his pictures are insane. They did make a TV series like based off of the books that he'd done. I don't know if the TV series is any good. But yeah, these aren't photos, mate. They're all paintings, and when you see some of these up close as well, there's a lot of them have like, it will just be flat color, you know. This snow is like, and the sky, it's just pretty much flat. There's like barely any details in a lot of these, and as you can see, they really set the, hang on, they really set the mood. What's the other book called? There's Tales from the Loop, and there's, let's just type in Simon Steinhag. But yeah, he's a master at this. He's a master at like overcast lighting, and yeah, these very big moody illustrations. Yeah, they're just really incredible. Oh my god. But yeah, check him out. Look him up. You need to really look at these on like your own screen so you can see them like nice and big. But you'll see what I mean about just how kind of sparse and kind of flat they are, but they're really good. The values are super tight. You know, the details are all implied. You'd be amazed at how sort of actually simple they are. Another guy that's also really good at this is a guy called Rob Ruppel, and he's really good at this kind of epic simplicity. This is kind of how he blocks things in, like this, and then like this will be the finished painting, but even then it's still really simple. You know, kind of like what I do in a sense, where I block in shapes and then basically paint inside of them, the light side and the shadow side. That's essentially what he's doing. He just starts with like even simpler shapes in the beginning to sort of set the composition, and then he will kind of cut into these shapes more to make them more sort of detailed. So, for example, this tree gets cut into more and more and more, but it's still a flat shape, and so on. But you see, like this carrying through into this, carrying through into this, it all makes sense. This painting, oh my god, this one is great. I used to have this as my background on my computer for the longest time. But again, he's really good at this stuff. Yeah. And let's see. Another dude that's super good at this, my good friend, Henry Wong. This guy, beautiful guy, lovely smile. He's also got this incredible way of making these compositions with very graphic shapes, very bold colors, and just, these things, they look like photos when you see them small, but then you make them larger and you're like, oh, what? They're just all graphic shapes. And, working inside of shapes. So putting down, the major composition with some big shapes, and then painting on the inside of them. And really, really, really cool. We used to work together in London many years ago. He's super good. Really, really nice chap. Great artwork. So there you go. There's 3 names for you. Some inspiration. Yeah, no worries. So, all that to say, basically, flat shapes. But you can see where the inspiration for that kind of stuff comes from, and, why I sort of gravitate towards stuff like that. The simplicity of it and the tightness of values and so on is just very impressive to me. And so it's always something I'm trying to do more of. But I'm slightly more on the sort of prefer kind of looser brush strokes over kind of something quite as graphic. But that's just personal preference at the end of the day. No PT hamburgers, but still awesome. Yeah, I mean, listen, not everyone can have the legendary PT hamburgers. Some people just have to paint landscapes, Don't have that PE tech. But there's Simon Stalenhag book, Tales from the Loop, and I think there's one called Creatures from what's it called? It's a very similar title. I want to say it's called Creatures from Beyond or something. But anyway, really nice books. If you remember, post it on Heath's house. I will do. Heath's house. Incredible stuff. So there needs to be a little bit more kind of, you see these kind of darker values back here. We need to kind of push those back a little bit, get a bit more sort of moisture in the air. So let's go on lighten. Lighten's great for this, and I'm going to get a noisy airbrush. Where is that? It's over here. And then we'll get the sky. Start to knock that back a little bit. You know, this kind of weather is like, you know, you have a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, and it's like, even just, it's not raining, but it's like, there's so many like droplets in the air that everything just sort of gets wet just by being out there. It gives everything this kind of slight sort of haze over it. Yeah, exactly. Like if you sort of touch your face in that kind of fog, and it's like your face is wet because you kind of touch the water onto it. I remember my wife and I were out. We were like doing walking in Scotland, and we'd like camped overnight. And we were hiking with all our stuff on our back. And one morning, we were sort of walking through this farmland, and they had all these very like spiky bushes all around, that all those sheep had like got their fur caught on, and so they had lots of fur like caught in all these spiky bushes. But there was also like thousands of spiders that had made webs in these really, really spiky bushes. And we were, you know, walking really early in the morning, so all the dew was setting on all of this stuff, and it looked crazy good, like settling on all the spiders' webs and all the fur that the sheep had left behind, and so on. It had this real like, yeah, just amazing look to it, kind of like thousands of tiny little diamonds or something. It was really cool. Just like caught it all in the morning light. I was trying to take photos of it as well, and it just, you know, sometimes photos just lets you down. The photo didn't quite capture the majesty. Just couldn't get the light right. Had that happen when I went to do photography overseas, but it was from the humidity fogged up my internal lens, and it was so frustrating. Oh yeah. Yeah. I do find sometimes though, you see something, you know, like a sunset or a certain light effect, and you whip out the camera to look at it, and it just looks so rubbish through the camera. You're like, oh, damn. Okay, maybe got a bit carried away with that. Lost quite a bit of the darks. I do want some of the darks to remain. That's what painting is for, honestly. So much doesn't show right in a photo, but a great painting can make me feel like that I'm in the exact moment. Yeah, no, certain things are like that. There's I'll bring it up. I've seen this painting in person as well. This is another John William Waterhouse painting. And this painting is so good. This is kind of a bit more of a close-up of it because it's actually, the colours are, hang on, where's it gone? The colours are quite a lot more accurate in this close-up. But I'll show you the full painting as well. So yeah, the colors are more accurate here to the real one. But yeah, this is the full painting, and this is another insane painting. This drapery, this kind of rug thing that's in here, the way this is painted is insane. Yeah, you can kind of see the directions of the strokes. But yeah, really, really good. But yeah, the lighting in this one, this kind of overcastness, like it really works. Kind of feel it. Do you remember Maddie on here? Yes. I actually spoke to her not so long ago. I tuned into one of her streams and said hello. But yeah, yes. Paintings are really coming on. Yeah, doing super well. Good streamer too. Yeah, if you have the link to her stream, please just put it in the chat. I'm sure others would like to watch it. She's really good streamer, very nice person, and does really good virtual plein air paintings. She's got that down pat. But yeah, when I first started streaming, that Maddie was someone that I watched, and yeah, she's good. Super kind person too. She would bring viewers over to my stream. If I was streaming, and she was finishing up, she would sometimes raid me with all her viewers, which was amazing. It was really nice, because I'd only just like started streaming at that point, so I had like no viewers. So yeah, but anyway, if you're into some virtual plein air and so on, check her out. Yeah, I'd say like a lot of people that found me back then was through the raids that I would get from Maddie. Hylas and the Nymphs is one of my lifelong favorites. The hair turning from dry to wet and the lily pads moving around are so cool to me. Yeah, that's a fantastic one. Really fantastic one. It's a freaking masterpiece. Yeah. Well, check her out. Check her streams out. She usually puts up like 4 or 5 different images, and then the chat will vote on which one to do, and then she'll paint them in like a time limit, and she's got insane at doing them. Really, really good. Yeah. The thing is though, what you can do is like, I don't need to do this and like find everything, because if I just control click on like this tree, it takes me to that layer. So if I want to find like this rock, I just control click it, and it'll take me to where that brush stroke is, and it's really accurate. So, you know, if I click on this moss, for example, you see it just switches to the moss. And if I want to go on this tree, I just control click it, and it takes me to the layers that tree's on. See what I mean? So I would label my layers if, and I don't always do this, because if any of my workmates are watching, they'll be like, he doesn't always do this. But I do label some stuff. Or color code them, you know. You have to separate the cheese from the meat on pizza. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Goddamn Petey hamburgers. Put him back in the sky here. Petey. Hey, yo. Did you know? Tonight at midnight, the publisher that published Elden Ring is announcing a new game. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a From Software game, but the rumors are that it is a new From Software game that isn't the Duskbloods. Yeah, I saw this morning the announcement. There's going to be a trailer dropping at midnight tonight. And I'm hoping it's a FromSoft game. That publisher obviously does have other games that it could be, but the rumor is that it's a FromSoft game, and it's not the Duskbloods. So don't want to get anyone's hopes up. I'm not getting too excited just yet. But I did hear other rumors that FromSoft are working on another game that's really far along in development that isn't the Duskbloods. And then this came around, so I was like, I don't know. The stars are kind of aligning here, even if I'm just making them align. So we'll see. We'll see. The Witcher 4. I've never played any of the Witcher games. Witcher 3 is my favorite game ever. Well, I won't say anything bad about it then. You missed the stream a few weeks ago where I bashed everyone's tastes in popular franchises. So yeah, I'll save you from it. Yeah, Sarah took the brunt of it. Sarah and Zelda bore the brunt of the hot takes. Okay, this bit of waterfall is annoying me actually. Let's duplicate those. Flatten those. I have a lot of Zelda games also. Yeah. Well, like I said, not everyone can have good taste, you know. Some people have to just make do with what they've got. I've never played. I'm Polish, so I have to like The Witcher. I've never played though, but I love the books. Fair enough. Pro 4210. Sorry to hear that. That's quite a hectic time off you've had to have there. I hope you're doing fine now. Exactly. You gotta look on the positive side. Well, thanks for tuning in. Sissy6, thank you for the follow. Happy to be back home. And where is home for you? You obviously you don't have to say that, but Okay, almost kind of an exciting bit. Exciting. Where I can sort of flatten things down and start to really paint much more nicer painterly edges on some of the trees and stuff. So that should be nice. Almost there. Almost. Let's check out the crops as well. So I wanted this to work in several crops. So there's kind of the more panoramic one. And then the sort of more vertical one with the title, WitchFalls. Did you get to work on that dragon scene from the bottom up? Oh no, I know the one you're talking about. No, we didn't. We haven't looked at that yet. We haven't looked at that one yet. That's something we can do. Get to. I think that was the one that everyone voted for. Yeah, you didn't miss it. A little bit of moss. see about a bit of moss growing up this tree here. Good thing about the moss is we can use it to cover up any edges that we don't like. We just got an edge that we're not into. We just put some moss on it. Gotta be careful it doesn't get too kind of convoluted though. When you're sort of doing something that is meant to have, kind of visible brush strokes and so on, and you sort of overdo it, it can kind of break apart a little bit. Too many strokes. Starts to look like a little bit contrived, Gotta be careful not to touch it too much. But I'll sort of grade this together again at the end a little bit as well, which is going to be quite good for pulling things together. The basically the image is like a little bit lighter and a little bit more contrasty than I want it to be in the finish. So I will sort of address that at the end when I come to grade it. But yeah, we're getting close, Just keep kind of looking around at everything and see what catches my eye. Stuff that looks out of place. There's lots of like little weird edges like this that I'm gonna sort of go around and hunt for as well. Get them out of here. Get out of here. And like stuff like this where this tree needs to be painted behind. Like that. Just little things like that. We'll go and clean them up as we go. Right, let's quickly do the upside down check. Always a good one to see it with fresh eyes again, What have you seen? What have you seen, Sarah? You've just never turned the canvas upside down. Dude, you got to do that. Especially if you're painting faces. Turn that shit upside down. Save yourself a world of trouble. Yeah. When I was at Lara at the atelier, we would do like one session in a long pose where you would paint with the canvas upside down. And that way really highlights to you kind of anything that's like slightly off or like wonky or anything like that. Really helps. Especially if you're painting faces. You get very used to it being one way round. And you flip it upside down and you can kind of instantly see like, oh, okay, this bit's crooked, or like this is looking the wrong way, etc. It's really helpful for that. Yeah. The other thing that's very good is if you're like looking at, particularly for us when we were looking at, you know, the life model, right? And she was lit by, well, they were lit by like a strong light source from one side. So you had a very clear shadow and light shape. If you can use your phone screen, but we had these like black mirrored tiles, and you can put it next to your eye like this and basically look at your subject like in the mirror. So you're looking into the mirror and your subject's over here. And because it's a black mirror, it like all of the shadows would condense. So you can very clearly see the light shape versus the shadow shape. Very good way of seeing if those two interactions are working. Yeah, you just like you imagine a whole room of people doing that though. I'd be walking around going to teach people and just be like, what the hell is going on in here? So yeah, this is it in full color, but this is kind of where I'm more heading with the values overall, just kind of pulling them closer together again. But okay, let's have a little look. I'm going to make a layer on top of everything now and just start to sort of go in and paint. Just paint. See if we can get some of these edges to look nice. Paint them out a little bit. But yeah, flip them upside down. Because you can see with the face instantly if something's like out of perspective that you might have just, got used to. Quite often you can see like you've got sort of the lips or the mouth or, something will be off. Something's always off, you know. You can guarantee it. So yeah, we'll have this whole layer on top basically that kind of lets me paint out the edges of things, but also kind of lose edges to the background if I want. Paint two things together as if they were kind of more painted. So there's kind of like the brush pulling through, you know, the color underneath it and so on. And this will really kind of pull everything together in a nice way. You don't have to do it on every edge, obviously, but there's some places that would really benefit from it. Beautiful. This is the sort of deeply relaxing part. Where I'm going to get like sucked in and just not say anything for ages. Just be like getting all crazy in the trees. Getting all crazy. Yo, you know, I didn't mention it before, but it's pizza night tonight. We're making pizzas. That's right. Your boy Heath, living like a champ. We're making pizzas. Yep, yep, that's right. What's your fave? Damn, tough. I really like I really like chorizo though. So I could fox with like a chorizo mozzarella pineapple. Think I could defo get down with that. Anything like spicy and sweet, bit meaty. Any kind of combos like that can get down with. Like goat's cheese, little bit of honey, induja combo. What like mushrooms, mascarpone, and don't know salami, I guess. Spicy salami. Goat's cheese is just goddamn so good. The entire menu. Yeah. No, but you know what I mean. What's yours? What's yours, faves? Come on, chat. Tell me. Yeah, before then though, I got to cycle home like a demon. I got home so quickly yesterday. I'm boring, just margarita with pesto or something. That's nice though. Pesto on a pizza is good. Nutty, herby. Nothing wrong with a marg. If there's nothing like, on the menu that really gets me, just get a marg and like a few dips and you're away. A few dips. So many types of pesto. Yeah, exactly. Just go crazy with it. Daisy makes really nice nettle pesto. You just go and get like a bag of stinging nettles from the canal. Wash them all. Wash them all in the bath. And then like blanch them, whiz them up, and you can make pesto with them. And it is delicious. Caprese style pizza, yeah, nice. Sometimes like a white base as well, you know. Get like a They do one near us that's like gorgonzola and something else, but it's like a white pizza, and it's pretty damn good. I'm determined to get everyone super hungry. Oh yeah, look at all those juicy strokes. Very nice. Juicy. Hey yo, what's up? Sorry, Dan, I didn't see you on YouTube there. What's up, my dude? I'm a dipman. Yeah, I'm big on dips. Pizza and dips. Catch me with those. I'm all about it. Can't really get into the greasy pizzas. It's just too heavy for me. I don't like getting my fingers all gross. Fair enough. When I went to Chicago and tried Chicago deep dish pizza, and it's shit. Like, it's not good. It's just like a sloppy kind of pie. And we even went to like a place that some Chicago locals told us to go to, because they were like, oh, if you're gonna get a pizza, Chicago deep dish, you gotta go get one of these. And we did, and it was shit. So fuck you, Chicago. and your sloppy ass pizza. It's no good. Get out of here with that. Miss me with that entirely. Fuck yeah, it's that time again. Heath shits on everything you love. Up next, air. Yeah, I tried breathing in once. What a load of crap. It doesn't even taste of anything. It is though. I don't think anyone here is from Chicago, but if you are, just know your dish, your natural, what's it called? Your signature dish is a load of horse shit. Yeah, exactly. And I'm correct. That is the correct opinion to have about that. Everything I say is right. Air is overrated. Yeah, no. Deep dish, bad. Sushi, bad. New York pizza is better than Chicago pizza, in my opinion. I can imagine. Yep. Anything's better than Chicago pizza. It's crap. Good sushi is good. No. Sushi's bad. Just cook it. Stop being annoying. Stop having cold food. Heat it up. Get that sushi in the microwave immediately. Heat it up. Get it on the barbecue. You're a gluten-free scrub. I like it. A food snob Brit. Not many of those. Yeah, all the food, all the British food is just brown and grey. It's not good. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna sit here and defend British food. I've got no skin in that game. Hey, beans on toast is S tier though. Sorry, but I'll take beans on toast over sushi any day. Any day. Yeah, exactly. Drink Huel. Um, yeah, mate. Dan, you know the greasy spoon, my guy. I'm so hungry now. I've ordered noodles. That's what we're talking about, Sarah. This is what I wanted. I was like, if I start talking about food, then I'll get really hungry. But everyone else will. Then everyone's going to open up their little app on their phone and be like, oh, wonder what Deliveroo's got going. Well, I wonder what Uber Eats is saying. Now I'm getting hungry too. Why we always talk about food in your Twitch? I don't know. I guess I'm always hungry. It's the only thing that gets people talking. It's the one thing that we all do every day. True. Yeah, exactly. Only truths here. I live in a village. I have to cook my food. No Uber Eats. Yeah, that's good though. That's actually good. And you'll be better off for it, Yukino. What's your favorite painting that slaps about food? Are there any other? Do you have one? That's kind of niche. I don't know. I don't know that I can even think of one off the top of my head. The Last Supper. Yeah, but the painting doesn't slap though. Just saying. It is a painting that's got food in it, but the painting doesn't slap. I don't think. Not into it. One-dimensional ass painting, you know. Mona Lisa too. The Mona Lisa, not good. Overrated. It's for normies. Yeah. The Mona Lisa is just artwork for normies, you know. I saw one in a gallery once that was a painting of a tomato soup cooking on a stove, and they blurred the brushstrokes to mimic the smell wafting from it. No idea what it was called. Oh, damn it. That sounds kind of crazy. Do you know, that does actually remind me of a painting, not of food though, but this is a painting that slaps. If I can find it. And this has a very similar thing to what you described. I can't find like a high res picture of it, but you'll get it. Yeah, do you know this painting? Insane brushstrokes, but this kind of steam coming off of the hot clothes in the background with the light coming through the window. If the tomato soup is anything like that, then we're in the money right there. The robot 10 Commandments, yeah, that doesn't have any food in it though. But yeah, these strokes for the steam, insane. Yeah, these ones on the floor. What's this one called? I will put it in the chat because I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name. I think his first name is Abram. It's decent. But yeah, the food related ones, I actually can't really think of one. And I do mean that about The Last Supper. It is actually a not very good painting, in my opinion. Same with the Mona Lisa. Get that out of here. Decent. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think they're only eating white bread as well, aren't they? Your favorite PT hamburgers. Yeah. What about this one? What about if you like PT hamburgers, have you considered jelly and ice cream? You should remake The Last Supper with PT hamburgers. Yeah, that's true, actually. I should do that. But yeah, this ice cream, where it's melting. Goddamn. Yeah, I think we painted this on stream as well, right? Seem to remember. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we painted this on stream. Yeah. I remember laughing loads about this kid that's inside. Just laughing, painting him. So he's so upset, he's literally drowning. It's an awful fate. Oh yeah, this kid. Yeah, he's got absolutely slimed. Yeah, that was fun. It's a good one. He's part of the unhinged food cinematic universe. Should do a picture of like a bacon sandwich beating the living daylights out of some sushi, maybe. Beating the brakes off of a tray of sushi. Beans on toast monster. Yeah, exactly. Big beans on toast kaiju. Just beating the brakes off of big sushi kaiju. Beans on toast monster. Yeah. Hell yeah. Okay. Noted. I'll note it down. I'll note it down for a future stream. Peekaboo. Hi guys. Hi Alex. What's up? What is up? Welcome. You are unfortunately here at a very very trying time. Benevolent God. Make sure the beans on toast kaiju is attacking London. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Nice one, Dan. So yeah, I guess this is where we started, right? And then last stream we got to here, and then this stream we are here. Dink and dink. So it's getting there. It's getting there. A lot of atmosphere. We're sort of heading into getting all of the humidity to read nicely. And yeah, painting a lot into these trees. I'll turn the brush strokes on and off. A lot of these kind of strokes that are tidying up bits and making it all feel a little bit more painterly. Which is nice, kind of softening out some edges, pulling it all together. So yeah, probably like another hour or so of noodling on this, and I'll probably be finished. But I won't be doing that this evening. Yeah, we got about 15 more minutes left this evening. I wonder. Shall we see? Yeah, thanks. Okay, so just putting these dots in, making it kind of rain into the perspective. Got to maybe just alter that a little bit more. And then let me just duplicate this. Duplicate. Just so that we've got a clean version of it. And then let's go, where is it? Filter, blur, radial blur, zoom. And then we need to move the center of that to like here-ish. Was maybe a little bit too harsh. Let's try Filter blur, radial blur, zoom. Let's put that on 5. Oh yes. Oh yes. Here we are. Got a little bit of rain in there. In 3D Coat, you can make really good 3D rain, which and I used to have that kind of 3D rain file, and whenever I used rain, I'd open that up and use that. But then after a while, I was like, oh yeah, you can just draw it. You can just paint it. Don't know if I'll keep the rain, but I'll keep it there for now, just to see how I like it. Let's knock the value back of some of these a little bit. Smoothie. The rain is one of those things that's like, yeah, it's nice, but it also takes away a little bit from like the slightly cleaner aesthetic. Do you know what would be sick? Is to like animate this so that the branches like slightly move in the wind, and like, you know, the water runs and the rain falls, and then just like play that with some like rain pattering sound effect, and just have that as like a looping screen. Oh, it's a witch, not an angel, and yeah, I would assume probably, right, as you said, water's water in it. What was once in the river is now in the sky. How's this going to look with some noise over it as well? Boom. Where we go? 50%. Can he do it? Has he got a steady hand? No. 51. Bollocks. Boom. 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 Yo, that wasn't 50%, was it? It was. Oh, yeah. It is a nice thought. I have one or two occasionally, but it's rare. I don't know. I don't know, Danny. you imagine you boot up the game, right? Once this game's out, my sick game, my complete Dark Souls rip-off game. You boot it up, and you watch this screen for a while. You just hear the rain pattering, the branches are slightly swaying, and you can hear the stream and stuff. And you just like soaking up the mood, and then real slowly the title fades in like this. The title fades in, and then it's like new game, load, save, settings. It's like that. There we do. Then we're in. Click new game. Go straight to a sick cutscene. Do you know, like, jokes aside, there was something that I was thinking that I wanted to do it, maybe have in here, as soon as we got everyone's eyes. New game, then my PC crashes. Yeah. It's like, here, have the fall. You know what I mean? Have the witch. Very subtle focal point, right? In here, it's just like the witch that falls, just like that. The mist from the waterfalls rising up to create the title. My God, this is it. This is it. This is it, guys. Listen, who's playing WitchFall when it comes out? Who's playing? I'm playing. Nice. I'm platinuming this game. I don't play video games and I'm playing it. Brilliant. See, that's like 4 sales already, which is great. WitchFalls for Wimps, so the guy doesn't even like air. Listen. All right, guys. It's been great. It's been very fun, very funny. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for making the effort to come and watch the evening spot. I know it's not quite the 4-hour daytime slot, but I'm gonna make it work. And yeah, I think potentially not this weekend coming, but the weekend after, we might be looking at a longer stream one of the days, but I need to figure that out, so I'm not promising, but yeah, that is potential for that, but I'll keep you posted in the Discord. So just a quick rundown. If anyone missed the beginning of the stream, the old painting that slapped today was John William Waterhouse. Miriamne leaving the judgment seat of Herod. We had a little chat about this one. Very good. And then we did a little half an hour or 20-minute tutorial / learning about cast shadows and why they are the way they are, and how you yourself can use the tools that I gave you to figure out how hard and how soft your cast shadows should be. So we did that at the very beginning, and then obviously we jumped in here, and we took this today from this point here to this point. So we got quite a bit done. Talked about how all the food you like is shit and pizza's the best, unless it's Chicago pizza. And yeah, that's it. So anyway, enjoy your evening and enjoy your weekend. Reach out on the Discord if you've got any questions or anything. But otherwise, I'll see you very soon. Alright, take care.